Welcome back to the channel. Sorry we haven't put out a video in a while. We've been busy working on our safe and also our other shop. So I got a good one for you today. Hopefully it doesn't cause a bunch of controversy. But I've been watching some YouTube lately. I used to watch some YouTube a while back, like a year or two, and I kind of quit watching YouTube. I didn't watch that much YouTube in the first place, but it's kind of making me fall asleep at night, so I started watching some, I don't know, some things on some products, and people had lots of questions about epoxy primers and direct to metal and all these questions. So I thought I'd make a video about good, better, and best. And you can put these in a couple different orders. Let me put this over here. So what I have here, I have 3 fenders here, and I'm just going to go good, better, best. And really, the first 2 are, I think, are equal. But the first one is called direct to metal. So you have your body filler here. It's direct to the metal. So this fender was sandblasted, or you could DA it down to metal. You could hand sand it, whatever. Just say you're going down to bare metal, even if you're not going down to bare metal. Say you've got just metal spots in it. Okay, you're applying the filler, whatever kind of filler you want. Okay, I'm not telling you what to use. We use Rage Extra and Ultra. They can be mixed together if you're going to use like a paint scale or a different kind of scale, measures in grams. And then you can also measure the hardener to put them together. You get about 20 to 30 minute working time. So always read the data sheets on any product that you're going to put down on the metal, whether it's body filler or primer or anything like that. So we're going to call this good, okay? So remember, I said the first 2 are probably good to best, okay? So good, better, best, okay? So if obviously we're a shop and we're doing high-end builds. So let's say I was going to build a car for myself. I would do it this way. This is the way I would do it. Okay? Because a long time ago, I mean, this is pretty much how we were doing it. Direct to metal. Beat all the dents out, put filler or short strand fiberglass on, and prime it with 2K and block it. You know, that's kind of the old days. So we'll call this just direct to the metal. Case closed, okay? You can put whatever filler on it, whatever brand, doesn't matter, done deal. So the second fender we got is this fender here, okay? We didn't put anything on the inside. We didn't blast the inside because this fender is just an Impala fender, 64. We didn't use it, so we're going to sell it. but it's epoxy primer, okay? So it was blasted just for this purpose. So you have your epoxy primer down on bare metal, okay? So that seals it, and it's corrosive. It's got corrosive stuff to keep it from rusting, okay? So if you don't have a heated and cooled shop like we do, okay, you're probably going to get surface rust. If you're touching it without gloves, that kind of thing, and you have the whole car that's, you know, sandblasted, then, you know, or just sitting, you know, moisture is going to get into that, okay? And that's a lot of metal to have exposed for months and months and months while you do your body work. So, if you put epoxy primer on, a couple things. If you use a cheap epoxy primer and you try to sand it without letting it dry, it will gum up your paper. If you use a high-end epoxy primer, which you should, it's going to take 1 to 5 days to dry. Usually, you probably need to let it sit a week, okay? That's downside 1, because if you are working a job and you come home in the evening, you're going to want to work on it. Number 3, it smells really bad. The catalyst that you mix like 1-to-1 or whatever, it smells really bad. But it is a good product. So this is probably the most common used in shops today is the epoxy primer, or probably a high-end epoxy primer. There's different brands. I'm not going to say any brands, but so you're putting that epoxy primer on, and then there is a window in that 1 to 5 days, depending on what brand you use, that you can actually apply filler on without sanding. But here's the thing. So you're getting a chemical bond in that 1 to 5 days versus waiting and sanding and getting a mechanical adhesion bond, which if I were going to do it, I would wait and sand with like 80 grit to rough up the surface and then put my filler on, because the adhesion bond, that mechanical adhesion bond, would be better for the I think the process than a chemical bond. And even if you have a booth, which since we're new at this location, we're working on our booth, but our last place, we never force dried anything, so we always let it naturally dry on its own. Because once you start, I don't like force drying things. I think you need to let the chemicals dry on their own in the space that they're in. You know, at 60 to 70 degrees, whatever. Or if it's, you know, summertime, obviously here we're going to have air conditioning. So first time, well, actually, we did have air last time, but only on very, very hot days. So But here nor there, it's better to have the mechanical bond on the epoxy primer. So these first two, I would say good, better, best. But I would say these two are kind of equal. I mean, you're putting down a corrosive barrier first, and then this, you're going direct to metal. Those two, I think, are kind of equal. But I'm doing the good, better, best. So, third process is powder coat. It's the best. This is what we do. Okay? So, all the panels, the body, get powder coated. So we do the metal work. Okay? So if it's rusty, like this cab here, all the rust will get fixed. In here we have we're going to make this, all the 3 windows get made 5 windows. So all that will, any spots will get sandblasted, and then we'll treat the inner with like a rust barrier, and then all the new sheet metal will get put on, and then everything will get disassembled, and then we'll do any customizing just like it is. It'll get put on the trailer along with, after we get everything mocked up, fenders, the bed, you know, we're going to do a custom bed, whatever we're going to do. Whether we're going to widen the fenders, we'll make custom running board, whatever we're going to do. Once all that is done, we're going to get it, you know, it'll be probably a lot of it in bare steel that's made, or the new bed is, I think, in bare steel, but it has a coating on it. It's not black coating, it's like an OEM bed that's actually made here in the USA. But, so it doesn't rust. So it'll still get blasted, just like the black coating on here. Once, you know, all that'll get blasted off, and then it'll get put in the oven, and it'll get all that moisture sucked out, you know, because it'll get heated up, and then it'll get powder coated black, and because black's the cheapest color. And then we'll sand, once it gets back, we'll sand everything that we're going to put body filler on. So basically the whole thing, like outside of fenders, inside of fenders, with 120 grit on the DA, okay? And then we'll apply our body filler, okay? We won't go through. What we're doing is just scratching the surface with 120 grit, and then we'll apply our body filler, and then our process starts from there. So that is the best, in my opinion. Let's put that, in my opinion, the best way to do it, because I'm charging customers. Now, if I wasn't charging customers, this way is, let's say, if you were wanting to build a high-end car and you have money, like a lot of money to spend on the best product, and you're going to make a laser straight car, and you're going to pretty much put the whole thing in filler, you're going to get the gaps like, you know, 3/16. I mean, you're making this thing perfection. I mean, you're going to take this thing to Detroit Autorama, okay? And you're making a full custom Okay, this is like super high end. This is the way to go. Or if you just want to, you know, have that protection of making sure that in 5 to 10 years you don't have anything, any bubble come through or a rough spot start or anything like that. It's protection that we offer the customer because we're charging a lot of money, you know. Shop rate's like 150. So you take 150 times the 2,000 hour bill, it's a lot of money. So you offer the best product to that customer. If you're at home DIY, you know, you got 2 options. It's still not cheap to do epoxy primer. I mean, epoxy primer, you know, is like $200-300, and then you got to think about all the products you're going to be putting on top of that if you're going to do a really quality build. If you're just going to put high build primer over it, you know, you put your filler on top of that, put a high build and block it. You just want a really, you know, a nice paint job. You know, you're not going to get into that really expensive money. You know, you can go this way. You just put your, you could put your high build over that. If you try to put epoxy over filler, that filler is just going to suck that epoxy in. Because filler, it's not too bad with the high build, but with epoxy, if you try to spray epoxy over the filler, that epoxy, I don't have much experience with the epoxy, but I know the epoxy will suck in that, and it'll take probably, I mean, it'll just soak it in and soak it in and soak it in, because the filler is really porous. So you probably want to go with like a 2K high build over that fender. I mean, these are just for demonstration. This filler, or this fender is pretty rough. We just kind of slapped some mud on there to kind of show you guys good, better, best. But like I said, these are pretty much better, like even, you know, you're not getting the rust protection with this, but you know, once you get done sanding that and filling it, you're still going to put, you know, your primer on there. So you got to look at cost and what you're trying to achieve. So, I mean, are you really, what are you building, and like, what do you want the outcome to be, you know? I mean, how far down the rabbit hole, you know, are you willing to go? You know, spend one, that saying, spend once, cry once, you know? It's like, spend once, cry once. Well, it's the same thing on when you start epoxy, filler. You got the quick sand, you know, that's like another $200. It's like body filling can. And then I think there's another product you put over that. It's like another $200-300. So, and then that would be your final prime. So, I mean, you're gonna have probably close to $1,000 in primers, including the quicksand all that kind of stuff. I mean, we can get into that if you guys are interested in that. I can tell you what to put on, you know, if you're going to go the epoxy route, like the different things to spray, you know, the different steps. I mean, to do it that way, I mean, I've done it that way before, just because I say I don't have experience with the epoxies. I mean, I've done the epoxy way. It's just, you know, I guess if I was building my car, my personal car, you know, I might lean going this way. It's just good, and you're not spending $1,000 just on epoxies and primers and all that kind of stuff, and you can do the body work and just use a filler, you know, a high build filler, and block it out, you know. I mean, unless, you know, you're going for I guess a really high-end build. So because the more layers you put on, you know, you can't paint with that slick sand on there, so you have to put another primer on there. So it just kind of gets, I don't want to get off topic too much, but it just, the money starts adding up, and so it's kind of, I want to make this video just to say, okay, you're at the metal, you start with this epoxy, put it down, scratch it in 5-6 days with 80 grit, and then you can do your body work, or you can